Trinity B1, the GESE exam. This is video number 8 in my series, How to Pass the Trinity B1 GESE exam. My name is Heather. I'm an English language teacher. This is going to be a long video because my topic is important. Let's do it. As a reminder, the Trinity B1 exam, GESE, grade 5, can be used for UK visa purposes, for citizenship. Always check the .gov website, but as of September 2025, it is still a CELT-approved exam. Today, we are up to video number 8 of my series, How to Pass the Trinity B1, and our topic today is my topic. Let's look at it. Today, I want to cover 3 points. Number 1, what is my topic? What is this thing on the exam? Number 2, choosing my topic. I'll give you an example. And number 3, questions for my topic using my example. First, what is my topic? This is a 2-part exam, 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes is my topic, and then the second 5 minutes are the examiner-chosen topics. Topic is 50% of the exam score, so it's important. First, let's get the form. Go to the trinitycollege.com website and go to Book Exam. Look for this link, Secure English Language Tests, CELT. When you learn more about CELT exams, you'll see lots of links. Scroll down until you see B1. And any of the B1s are fine. Let's take this ILR. Just make sure that it says GESE grade 5. So scroll down until you find B1 and look for one that says GESE grade 5. Click Learn More. Once you're on the B1 English Test GESE grade 5 page, scroll down. And you'll see the topic section, and you'll see a topic form. Let's look at this. When you click it to open it, it will look something like this. You'll see one box with 5 boxes around it. So you print out the form, download it, print it out. If you do not have a printer, it's okay. Trinity does allow you to draw this form as long as you draw it like this so that it looks the same. In the center, you put your topic, and then around the sides, you do your 5 subtopic points. So let's do an example now. I'm now going on to part 2 of my presentation, choosing my topic. Remember, you can choose any topic and pass this exam if you're a great English speaker. One thing you need to remember when you're choosing a topic, do not choose the examiner topics. So there are the examiner topics. Special occasions, festivals, means of transport, music, entertainment. Do not choose these topics. So what can we choose? You can choose anything, really. You want something that you can talk about, something that's interesting to you. The examiner is not going to test you on details. The examiner is testing you on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. I am going to use the topic of running a marathon. So I'm going to put that in here as a draft for now. Let's try. I'm going to change it. I'm going to try my first marathon. You may find as you think about it that you decide to change your mind. Remember how I fill out these boxes. So there's going to be something in the past, something present perfect, something giving reasons, references, and the last one would be either something in the future or something quantifiable. Those are the points that the examiner will test you on. So let's think about this. If my topic is my first marathon, what can I put about past? What can I put about past tense? So here's my form. My topic is my first marathon. I thought about what I want to talk about. Past tense, I ran the 2025 London Marathon. Present perfect, what I have learned running a marathon. Giving reasons why I ran a marathon. preferences, why I prefer training for half marathons, not full marathons. And for future and quantifiable, I like my future marathons, plural. Let's think about this. What could the examiner ask us about these subtopics? First, I know the title of my topic is My First Marathon. A great present perfect question from the examiner would be, have you ever run a marathon? Even though it's a little silly because the topic is my first marathon, but it's an easy question. Have you ever run a marathon? No, I have never run a marathon. Have you ever run a marathon? Yes, I have run a marathon. I ran the London 2025 marathon. And that leads me right into my simple past point. I expect the examiner to ask me a few questions about that, like, wow, was it fun? It was fun, but it was a little bit stressful at the beginning because there were so many people. Once we got going, it was a lot of fun because the crowds were so friendly and everybody was cheering us on. It was great. Lots of simple past. Was it difficult to train for the marathon? It wasn't difficult, but I had to be consistent and I couldn't take any days off. So I wouldn't say it's difficult, but I would say that it was still hard work to do. Did that take a lot of time? The training took so much time. That was the difficult part. My social life was really with the running clubs and running in my spare time. So it did take a lot of time. Why did you run the marathon? I ran the marathon because my work colleagues and I did it as a team. We were supporting our colleague who had a sick child, raising money for the child's illness. If I've already answered a present perfect question, they might not come to this topic. They don't always do all five. They might only ask you three. But if they did ask me, what have you learned from running a marathon? I have learned that it's really hard work. I have learned that I don't like running such long distances. It takes up so much time, and physically, it's a major effort. That leads me right into preferences. So the examiner could ask me something like, so do you prefer half marathons to full marathons? Yes, I prefer half marathons to full marathons because it's much more manageable with my life. Maybe if I was 20, but now at 50, I much prefer training for half marathons to full marathons. And what about the future? Do you see yourself running a marathon in the future? Oh, definitely. My work colleagues and I have already discussed this. We will do it next year, again, as a team. So early in the year, we are running in the UK. And then later in the year, we're going to Spain. Our company is sponsoring us. It will be a lot of fun again. And it's completely for the medical services for this colleague's child. So that's why we're doing it. So I hope it will be fun. And I hope they will raise a lot of money for the medical things the child needs. And remember, the examiner will then ask you to ask a question. Can you ask me a question about your topic? My question to the examiner, have you ever run a marathon? Or do you like running? Or have you ever watched the London Marathon? Or what do you think of the London Marathon? Any of those are possible questions that you could give to the examiner. Next thing, I know there are many people on the internet, I see them using topics like this, or they talk to me about topics like this. As you know, I don't like this type of form for a few reasons. And anyone can pass this exam with any topics, so that's okay. So if you're a great English speaker, no problem. But if you're not a great English speaker, I don't like this form for a few reasons. Number one, it feels like A2. It feels like A2 topics, family, home, shopping. It just feels very basic. It feels like A2. Reason number two that I don't like this is that it looks like you did not prepare. Because you used all nouns, there's no verbs. It looks like you didn't prepare. Reason number three, as you know, they're going to ask you things in simple past, present perfect, future. They will use the things that I listed. The issue is when you don't help the examiner, The examiner can ask you present perfect about any of these topics, which is okay if you're a great English speaker. But if you're not, then it's more difficult because they could ask something like, how long have you known your husband? How long have your children attended school? How long have you known your friends? Have you ever been shopping at a Chinese market? Have you ever cooked a Chinese meal? And it's okay if you're a high level speaker, but if you're not, do yourself a favor. Do not make your form like this. So, what will you use for my topic? Let's brainstorm. You can use anything. You can use, especially Trinity wants you to use jobs, career, hobbies. What can you use? Well, if you're a taxi driver, you could do something like my life as a taxi driver, or how I passed the taxi driving test, or interesting things I do as a taxi driver. And you could write your subpoints about that. If you don't work, you stay at home with your kids, you could do something about your kids. For example, your topic, teaching my daughter how to read. And then you could do your subpoints about that. How quickly my daughter has learned. My daughter learned to read books in 3 months. You could do a lot of subtopics about that too. So it doesn't have to be a super great high level topic. It could be your day-to-day life topic as long as you think about it and put it into the structure. So that was topic 8 in my series, How to Pass the Trinity B1 GESE exam. That was my topic. Previously, I have covered the examiner topics. We did the overview. Our next topics will be the grammar points. So it will be a deep dive into the grammar points. And then finally, I will do some practice mock demonstrations once I can find some students who agree to do it. If this is helpful and you like YouTube video formats, normally I'm on TikTok, but I'm trying YouTube. Please like, share, comment, and tell me what else you need to learn here. And I will keep posting. Keep studying. Keep learning English. For the Trinity B1 GESE exam, when you go to the exam, you take this form, a filled out form, with you to the exam, and it can be on paper by hand or it could be on paper printed out just like this, but you have to take the paper already in your possession, already completed. And if you're doing it in person, the examiner will ask you, may I please have your topic form? And you give your topic form to the examiner. If you're doing it on the computer, the examiner will ask you, what is your topic, please? My topic is my first marathon. Thank you. And what are your 5 subpoints, please? My 5 subpoints are, number 1, I ran the 2025 London Marathon. 2, what I have learned running a marathon. 3, why I ran the marathon. 4, why I prefer training for half marathons, not full marathons. And 5, my future marathons. You can do variations of that, for example, firstly, secondly, things like that. It doesn't matter how exactly you say that point, except that you are saying each point clearly, because if you are doing it online with the examiner will be writing down your points. Either way, in person or on the computer, you just need to list your topic and your 5 subpoints. The examiner will then ask you a question on one of those points, which will start off the discussion. Generally, I have seen people answer questions about between 2 and 4 of the points. It depends how long your answers are. It's not that you must do all 5, but you probably won't do just one either. So you'll be somewhere between 2 and 4 normally. If this is helpful and you like YouTube video formats, normally I'm on TikTok, but I'm trying YouTube. Please like, share, comment, and tell me what else you need to learn here. And I will keep posting. Keep studying. Keep learning English.